I think we are live again. I'm not sure. I need to wait for the confirmation. Yep, there we go. Alright, so just quickly setting up everything. Welcome tonight again for round 2 of the championship in mid-gear. We had a very exciting and close pack the first race last week. And now we go to Bahrain, our usual track in the calendar, to see how this race will end up. I am joined by Jones, but he is still on his way, so he will be there very shortly. I think mid qualifying he will join us. I do sound a bit sick myself, so excuse me for that one. But yeah, it is what it is, as we say. So we are waiting for the loading screen to complete, and there we are. So quickly setting up everything. We do tie, everything is easy. There we go. So just waiting for the drivers to leave the pit lane. And I think we see some new as the new Red Bull duo. We got Gio or Gio, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and Rickett. He has they both replaced Pui and Match and Jono, who for some reason haven't are dropped from Red Bull. Red Bull I don't know why they're not happy. I think Mikel was there last time as well, so he is back in the Mercedes. We got the McLaren boys again. We did very well last race. Let's see. We got, I think Tonsek or Tonchek, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's back. The Ferrari dude is there. D-Mac is in the house again, and Laura is also back with us for round 2. As we see, Haas is the only one choosing for the medium tires so far. Need to wait a second. Yeah, I think I will be rested enough that my little fever call is gone again, or it is near the end, so just waiting to see how that one will work out. Did a race yesterday and it felt fine, so no problem with that one. Just a little bit blocked nose, or it feels like that. Maybe difficult breathing with that, of course. So who is the first on the track? It is the McLaren duo. They are both following the track, so I want to see if I can quickly see the results from last race to give you a quick update on the standings, as we will follow Lewis, who's the first one on the lap. I will quickly search for the mid-gear standings. There we go. So mid-gear standings as Ross, this is Lewis, he did finish 5th, but Ross is leading the championship ahead of Rickett. Oh, and we got a yellow flag. I don't know what that's for. Need to wait and see. Yeah, so Al's in P3, Dino is P4, Evo P6, Marco P7 was not here tonight. So, oh, we got another yellow? No. So, the Mercedes car of, because I think a reserve driver, if I'm correct. And then we got Marco P7, Ricky P8, Samiaka P9, and Freddy in P10. That is the top 10. As they are all here, as we see, waiting for Lewis to cross the line first and see where Lewis will end up. It is a 127.5, and where does his teammate go? It is a 127.2. Now the Mercedes car goes into P3 with a 128.4, and where does the Haas car go? He goes quickest with a 126.6, so that's a big gap already. And now I think one of the Ferraris, it's Shaq. Where does Shaq go? Check goes into P4, and then we see one of the Alpha. No, it's an invalidation, unfortunately. And Zabiaka, where does he go? The Aston Martin. He moves up into P5, and then the next one to cross the line is Lar. He goes into P2, and I think that was Gio. I don't know pronounce how the name is. I just call him Gio. That's easier for me. Oh, and a lot of new driver improvements there. Where does Al move up to? He goes into P5, and I think Haas just started his lap. Yeah, he invalidated. So Evo invalidated as well. Some small invalidations. So let's see. Currently, after our first run, we see D-Mac, the Haas driver, in P1. Already 4 tenths gap to Lar in P2, followed by Rodo in the Alfa Romeo in P3. And Ross, our championship leaders, in P4, and Al in P5. 6 currently, because I think Lewis has gone quicker again. And Ross has also gone quicker into P3. Is Michael's? No, he's going. Alright, so the McLaren boys moved up into P3 and P5 as Al has gone into P6. Rick is currently P7 and Gio is P8. Shaq is P9 and Zabeka is P10, followed by Mikael in P11. And now Haas was on another lap, but he invalidated again, so we need to wait for that one. As I think maybe Evo is going for a lap, so we'll see what he can do. Evo was in pole position last week, so good qualifier. Let's see, I can have a quick view of his sector times. What is he saying? 28.1. No, I can't really see. No, I think it's not. Oh, it's into P4, so 127.1. A lot of tires. It's currently in the same timing as we see if someone is on the lap. Currently, they are not, so we just need to wait for that. We do see some drivers on the outlap, the Williams drivers and the Red Bull driver, P2 finisher from last week. Waiting for that. And Colin telling us that Evo has done very well in the practice. So exciting to see that, of course. A bit Ferrari bias, but it's allowed, I think. Because yeah, I just have a quick look at the weather. It's sunny, so no problem with that. Of course, it's Bahrain, so you don't expect a lot of rain, as it says, Bahrain rain. So Rickett is currently on a lap, and he set a 127.986, so that's almost identical to D-Mac in the first sector. Need to see. Oh, is someone moved up or down? I don't know exactly. I think Rick has moved up into. No, he's not. Yeah, he did improve, I think, in P6. Don't know. Now Rickett is 2 tenths behind D-Mac currently. Can he close in? Oh, he's just 2 tenths behind, so good lap from him. I need to see if all the drivers on the lap. We got Dino on the lap, we got Freddy's the first one on the lap, so we just follow him for a second. And we did set a 127.9, that's identical to the first at 137.7, so he lost 6 tenths in the middle sector there, as D-Mac is very quick on his first lap. And I think he can sit this one out. I think he's a reserve driver, if I'm correct. So, where does Freddy go? He goes into P9. No, both Williams drivers, where do they go? First up, we got Tonchek. Let's see if he gets some quick times. Oh, well, I don't know what's happened to Haas, but he's decided he goes into P12, and the other Williams driver, Dino, where does he go? He goes into P3. Almost identical time as Rick in there. So very interesting to see. As I think Mika is the next one on the lap. Yeah, I think he is. So just following him for a second. It's very annoying, these yellow flags. Showing up when the driver slows down, of course. Where does he go? He did. It's a bit slower than our pole position time. Oh, and he pulls into pit lane. Alright. There's Lewis on the lap. Yeah, no, he did improve, or did he? No, he's just starting his lap, I think. Just waiting, or Jones hasn't joined us just yet, so I need to wait for that. And I think... Oh yeah, the Williams is going for another lap. He's up by 2 tenths, meaning he would maybe get into the top 10 if he does have a good last sector. He goes into P8, and that's a very good lap. Now, Wu is on the lap. We got Alice on sort of on the lap. Lewis is on the lap, and Ross is on the lap as well. Rodo's on the lap, and Laura is on the lap. And no, we got someone off into turn 1. It's one of the Williams cars. And I think it's good. No, it's Tonchek or whatever his name is. Oh, and someone improved. I'm not sure who it is. I need to wait for that one. Who is on the first lap? I need to see. One of the Red Bull cars. It's on an out lap. Then it's the McLaren cars of Lewis to the line, and he goes into P4. That's a big improvement from him, as the track is getting faster, of course. And Ross now into P2, very close behind pole position. Now we got Alice also on an improvement. He goes into P5. So a lot of improvements currently. And now we see if Shaq does improve, or is Rodo still up ahead on track. He is. He's almost setting the same sector times as he did before, so not a lot of improvements. Hello Boris, good evening to you. And where does he go? He goes into P5. Now I think Shaq is following him. Shaq moves up into P15. And now I think it's... No, Laura's pulling in. D-Mac, can he improve again? He is quicker. And he goes into 126.3. So that's a very quick lap time. And did someone else improve? Who? No. We got one of... I think it's Haas maybe. No, Haas isn't improved as well. It's still invalidation after invalidation here for these guys. Ooh, and Lewis is gone for another lap. And he is up 3 tenths, meaning he could well get on the front row currently. We need to see where he ends up. He ends up into... Yeah, there we go, the front row. Just beat his teammate. But his teammate is also an improvement. Can he get any close to our pole position? He is still 3 tenths off. So exactly 3 tenths off. So still very quick lap from him. Now Sabiak on the medium tires is not going for it. It is Al again. No, he's pulling in. Is it Evil Master? Evil Master invalidating. So he will not improve there. Overtaking one of the cars in the safety in the pit entry. Is Shaq on another lap? I do not know, so we will have to wait for that. It does look like it, but then maybe again he's going for it. Yeah, P10, 6, almost 7 tenths improvement just behind his teammate. So that's a very good lap from him. Now, one of the both AlphaTauri guys are still on their out laps, and I think the McLaren cars are going in. So who is on an in lap?
Good evening, Luke.
Hey, good evening, Jones.
Sorry about that. Running a bit late.
No problem, no problem. It's just still qualifying, so.
And a good qualifying so far for the McLaren boys in second and third.
Yeah, they look very strong. And I just saw as well that they can't get any close so far to the Haas driver, who's still 3/10 in front.
Yeah, D-Max put a really good time out there. And it's very, very close through the midfield pack, so any improvements from anywhere down to 13th could see them rise up a lot.
Yeah, it's very close in the midfield. I think the top cars have created a small margin to the rest of the field. But we saw last week as well, it's very close. So check it out, going for it again. I think almost everyone is on one lap or... Ooh!
Yeah, I'm just trying to find someone on a full lap at the moment.
And Rick has picked up damage. On I just switched to him and I saw Evil Master ahead of him. Now, I want to know... Because you can't... Surely he hasn't crashed there. Or
no, it's a strange place to go off there.
Yeah, and he only lost 2 seconds in the first sector, so I don't think he went off, so a bit of controversial happening there.
Yeah, Mikael Alf is just round in the final corner now. Let's see if he can improve from 16th.
Where does he go? He's going in.
I was going into pits.
Only 2 minutes left, so I think Rick is done. I don't think he can go in fast enough and then go out again. Not a Ferrari of no Williams fanboys in the chat. Ooh, the Red Bulls are an improvement. Easy to P2. And the next one is the out lap, so where's I think it's Haas is on the lap. Yeah, Haas is on the lap, so he's improving.
Yeah, Ricard putting himself up to second. And the 2 McLarens also on a flying lap now, as well as Dino in the Williams, I think.
Oh yeah, and the other Williams has just gone into P6. No, and I think Williams is now going for a second lap. Everyone on out lap almost. It's Freddy's on an improvement in P13. Where does he move up to? He goes into P10, so into the top 10.
Yeah, and Lewis is a 10th down on his first sector so far.
Oh, and we got a purple sector from Evil. Still 8/10 to pole position. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And
Ross is a 10th up in the first sector here.
Interestingly enough, our pole sitter hasn't gone out again, so Evil into P5.
And he's managed to massively gain some positions up leaderboard there.
It will not be his pole position yet. Last time out. So we see already some cars are finished for tonight in the qualifying. And where can the McLarens improve?
Yep, Lewis about to cross the line. And he
He
does improve, but only by 200ths.
So that's not enough to get the Haas of pole position.
Let's see what Ross can do. Coming around the last corner now. And he improves also, but only by 400ths there.
Yeah. Oh, and I think Laura's gone into P6 there. And Evil's dropped down to P7. Where does the Alfa Romeo go? Rodo goes into P5. just behind the McLaren cars.
Yeah, and a great point by Backer in the chat there. P2 to P12 is separated by half a second. That's how tight it is.
Yeah, it's unbelievably close field. I think the last time out in Canada we saw the exact same. Oh no, I switched. Oh, the Aston Martin went off there as he picked up some small damage. So who's still on the lap? Shaq is not on the lap, and Evil is also not on the lap. So I think we're finished for the night. Just looking at the cars. No, Ferrari still out on the track, giving as Shaq is slowly going over the line. Alright, I think that's it for qualifying. Yep. Alright, so that is qualifying done. As we see D-Mac, the reserve driver, going into pole position in the Haas, followed by Rickard in P2. Again, I think he was P2 last time out as well. In Canada, he finished P2, so good start from him. Ross, our championship leader, right behind him. So the championship leaders are 2 and 3 on the grid. That can maybe get scary into turn 1 and maybe see some drama early on in the season. We see Lewis, his teammate, in P4. Then the gaps are very small here. As Rodo is in P5, then Dino in P6, and R in P7, only 6 thousandths behind. Evil then 5 thousandths behind that, so very close. Tonchek in P9, Al is in P10, and then with the free tire choice we got Freddy in P11 and Shaq in P12, Rick is in P13, Sabiaka in P14, Gio in P15, Haas in P16, and the Mercedes of Mikael is on the last place. So
yeah, and interestingly, Rickard and Ross are first and second in the championship, right next to each other on the grid. Should be some good racing between those two.
yeah, so interesting to see that into turn 1. Just waiting for the cars to ready up on the grid. Alright.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see as well what the people outside the top 10 try and do on their tyres. Tyre wear is quite high around here.
Yeah.
I think for most people in low gear it was a 2-stop race.
Yeah, I do agree that I haven't seen the race yesterday because I had a race myself, so I had time to see it myself. I'm just looking at the Constructors' Championship here, as McLaren is in the lead, 24 points ahead of Aston Martin in P2. Now Aston Martin qualified to P10 and P14, and both McLaren cars in P3 and P4. Although Red Bull is just behind that with 35 points in P3, and they have one car in P2, but also one car at the back of the grid. So, and Alfa Romeo only has 1 point so far. So they, with them in P5 from Rodo, they would like to score some points, I think. See the tires quickly. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, on tyres we got Fretty in 11th on mediums, Rick is on mediums, Zabiaka mediums, by MGO mediums, Huss has gone for the hards, and Mikael on mediums.
And
The rest are all on soft.
Yeah, Shaq only from the outside of that choosing the soft tires.
Yeah, so he'll be hoping for a fast start, extra grip to get past Fretwell early on.
Yeah. And I think maybe if early safety car, we got some disqualifications.
And that's not ideal for Shaq because the tyres will be sitting there getting cold on the grid now.
Rick again clashing with a Ferrari driver. His strategy land will be interesting. Yeah, Haas is always, I think, underrated. You don't really recognize him, but he slowly gets near the front. So interesting to see what he can do on the hard tires. He did, I think he finished P4 or P5 in the championship last season, so, or at least near the top end of it. Waiting to see how that one goes. Now you can do the legendary introduction again.
Yeah, and it's. I wonder if Huss will try and just get those hards to the end and have a real quick run on the soft towards the end. The pace advantage.
Yeah, or maybe hoping for a late safety car.
Yeah, true.
A lot of guys are joining us again for different teams. There we go. It's 5 lights.
5 lights. Okay, let's go.
And we are off, and I need to get a good view from the start. And D-Mac already got a big gap into turn 1.
Yeah, amazing off the start there. And it's getting a bit crowded in the midfield pack through there.
Oh, one of the Alpines got a small touch.
Yeah, and he kept it well. Very easy to spin that.
Everyone's still going through. Ooh, Dino's losing out some
soon,
patience.
but it looks like we're all through the first few corners, all clean enough.
Yeah, or no, just.
And as I say that, my old teammate will be very angry with me there. He's.
Oh, and we got
lost a bit from
Dino and Al both. Oh, and Haas is retired. Oh no, where is Haas retired then?
I think in the
S's,
whether he lost it now, I can't see exactly where.
Yeah, he lost it out of the fast left hand on the curb, I think, where you spin out and then. Is it the safety car or what is it? Is it? I think it's just.
Can't see that yet.
I need to see the position.
It's gone green, I think.
Yeah.
Is it? So just a virtual safety car. We had no safety cars yesterday in low gear, so.
Yeah, I remember from last season we got 4 safety cars, so it's maybe
a bit of a lottery then.
Yeah, and as she said, the top 5 is clear gone, as Shaq has already moved up 4 positions, and Mikhail
right
is
behind his teammate.
6. Yeah, so I think as I said, Al was in P6 or P7, so he gained from P10, and then he collected with and now as Rick is going in, same for Zabiaka, and Dino is continuing. I think he collected them as Freddy's now going for the overtake on the medium tires into P9. But yeah, Haas on his.
Fretwell's spun as well.
Yeah.
On the exit of what's that there? Turn 4.
Yeah.
Before the S's.
A bit of a weird place to.
Oh, he spun again.
Yeah, tires overheating, I think.
Yeah.
So not the start that the AlphaTauri boys wanted. P14 and P15 there. Just a quick move up to the front. As Rickard is not closing on D-Mag. I see in the chat. Wait, just need to see. Yeah, so D-Mac. Oh, and we got another yellow. It's Lars spun out. Watch out.
Yeah, at the fast right-hander, and he's rejoining now.
Yeah, Dio's following him in. So we do got a lot of spins or crashes in the first opening laps.
Yeah, and it is easy to lose traction around a few of the corners here. There's a few curbs that can really make you lose it, and just one of those tracks, there's a few corners that it's easy to spin at. And we've seen that already. It's not just been one corner catching people out.
Yeah, so D-Mac, I just switched it on here. He was a high gear reserve driver and now mid gear reserve driver because he couldn't race on the Thursday. So he might be quicker than mid gear, but he's still a reserve. So we need to see his.
Yeah, and interestingly, we got the top 5 are in a bit of a DRS train. And I know from last night it served me well because I was struggling to get past, is the undercut worked very powerfully round here. So
yeah,
maybe the people, if they can't get past in a DRS train, they might just look to pit a lap or 2 earlier, get the clean air and overtake them in the pit lane basically.
And the McLaren, yeah, the McLaren cars maybe want to try and do it on the car's head, as they are already losing some, or are outside of the DRS of Ricardo now, who is still following in the DRS, but he's using a lot of ERS to stay with D-Mac here. Some big gaps already starting to form. Maybe the Ferraris can do some teamwork, maybe DRS train.
And I think if I were the Ferraris as well, I'd be thinking, with them running so closely together, that's one of them could go for the undercut and split the undercut and split the strategies a little bit to keep the guys guessing in front.
Oh, the McLarens are battling for P3.
Yeah, and I think he'll make it easy, Ross, there. Maybe Lewis has got a bit better pace at this point of the race.
Yeah, of course they maybe try to do something, but they already lost a second to the car ahead. And being that Rodo can also close in, so... See a bit of discussion on the Ferrari McLaren decision, team switches. As you are in the McLaren, right?
Yeah, this season, yeah. So
Yeah,
obviously
I'm
there's going to be a bit of bias for me towards 3rd and 4th place here.
Yeah, I will be hoping to see 6 and 7 move up some spaces, but...
And Rickard's really keeping up well with D-Mac here. I think D-Mac, from what the guys were saying in the chat, he was previously in high gear. He's as a reserve and he's moved down to mid-gear due to availability, and Rickard's showing really good pace to keep up with him.
Yeah, as now I said before that their ERS was a big difference, but now it's fairly close again, so let's see if he can move up any places.
And Rodo's actually catching the McLaren boys quite a lot. And
Yeah,
they're switching positions again, the McLarens.
So they try to do the little bit of DRS train action, unless we see some overtakes behind as well. This BM Geo is going past, and McLarens are still fighting. Just watching from the POV from... Oh, it's a big slide from Lewis. And now Rodo's right behind him. Almost lost it in after the S section.
Yeah, and this is allowing the Ferrari guys to catch up a little bit to this, but as well as that, Al's caught up to the Ferraris. So it's getting quite close in the midfield, but the front two have really broken away from this group now.
Yeah, and Rickard is even closer than he was the lap before, so he's slowly gaining. Maybe, as you said before, the strategy, he could do the undercut and try to see if it works, but now he's pretty close, so let's see if he can. And he now has more ERS than D-Mac has, so he saved a lot in the last few laps, and D-Mac is maybe using a lot on the straight to create a gap.
Yeah, and looking at other people with ERS here, Rodo has a lot more ERS in hand on Lewis in front of him, who's only at 3% now.
Yeah, he's using all his ERS, and now they're switching again. So, are they switching around?
It's not really helping them close up. I think at this point, one of them needs to change strategy or try the undercut.
Yeah, because they already lost 4 seconds to the car ahead as well.
And Rodo's just closing up, and so the Ferraris are maintaining that gap now. They haven't really closed up any further.
Seeing the battle behind a bit in the mid-pack, as we see Laura and Dino having a small fight.
I wonder if, in terms of the Ferraris, your team, whether Shaq might be released at some point, because he's stuck with Evil, and Evil hasn't pulled a gap on him yet. So maybe a switch around might be coming there.
Yeah, and he hasn't closed in that much as well on the cars ahead, who are fighting, of course. And now Rodo is close to Ross, as Ross is also close to Lewis, so they are gonna reach a point where they can't switch anymore, or it will maybe give Roto an opportunity to go past them. So. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Westy's quickly changed his logo in the chat. He doesn't want to be associated with Ferrari again.
and good on him as my teammate. I'm happy he's done that. Yeah, and the top eight's only separated by 10 seconds, but then there's a big gap behind to ninth with by MGO.
Yeah, and I was now going for it as well. The Ferraris are really close behind each other. Oh, and
Yeah, and Shaq has been let through, so maybe he'll go off and try and catch Rodo and McLaren's in front.
yeah, and Roto spun as well on board, and he's into the wall, but he hasn't lost any wheel, so he can continue. But that was very unfortunate there, maybe a bit too
not
close.
a good
behind.
race for Alfa Romeo so far, with Huss out and Rodo.
Yeah, and Al
missing his
almost
whole
hitting
front
the
wing.
back of Shaq, and now Al has a better run, and Shaq struggling with the traction. A lot going on. This will help the Ferrari guys, of course. And I also noticed that, oh, they're still side by side, hanging on the outside. It's Shaq. Can he hold on? No, Alice has some great pace as he spun in the first lap.
Yeah, and we're getting into the kind of window now where we're going to start to see the strategies play out.
Yeah, so I think I saw one of the Williams has gone in, but he's gone to another set of soft tires, so he's definitely doing the two-stop.
Yeah.
And very unfortunate for Rodo, because he was almost in the podium position, and now he's well behind. And if there's no safety car, I think it's almost over for him.
And Rickard's still sticking with DMAC here. He's actually got the gap down to half a second. But it is quite tough to pass in places.
Yep. And oh, and we've got a
real
yellow
big
flag. It's
battling going on.
Lewis. Oh, Lewis.
Yeah.
What's happened there? Just
So
Shaq is passed again. Oh.
Dropped it, but it's
Oh, and Evo's now dropped it or has lost the place.
looked like he was giving it back. Maybe I don't know what happened in the corner.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was just trying to see a bit of strategy, what the strategy was doing for the cars behind, and reading the chat. But yeah, I didn't know
wonder
what
if
happened.
Rickard we're getting to that point where because he can't quite get past DMAC in the DRS zone, whether he'll try and undercut him.
Yeah, I see some SL again as well. I think the tire is starting to kick in, so I'll just have a quick look at the test system to see if. Wait, I need to go to damage. I need to keep an eye out on the rest of the grid as well. Yeah, so some cars are reaching 50%.
And Shaq's pit.
Yeah,
no, Shaq's faking to pit.
Oh, Lewis has gone in. I think he's noticed the tire wear. Now Alice. But all of that, Evo was ahead of them in the first place. Now he's behind them. So don't know what happened there. But Ferrari are closing in on the top cars. But Ross already losing 8 seconds.
Ross is, he's really dropped back off the leaders.
And interestingly, after Williams, who's already made one stop, is now ahead of Lewis. And
now we might see the power of the undercut, though. Well, we've just seen it with Tonchek, but we might see it for Lewis on Alan Shack attack, getting back past them after his spin, I assume.
And the question, can he take the mediums to the end? I don't know. I think it's possible, but...
And Rickard is very close behind now.
Yeah. And then... I hope
if he can get a good exit through here...
Yeah, a lot of ERS, he has a lot of ERS. Oh!
Honestly, yellow flag.
I was
That's
gone.
out. Yeah, the fast right-hander.
I think he dropped it though, but... Oh, and maybe...
Surprised to see people getting away with that today. Usually if you spin now, you're straight heading for the wall.
Yeah, now a lot of cars going in, D-Mac going in, Ross going in, Shaq going in, and Evo is continuing.
Yeah, and I wonder if D-Mac pulled off into the pits, because I think Rickard would have had him on that straight.
Yeah, not fighting, maybe not losing out any time as Laura is also going in. So the soft tires, the people on soft tires are deciding to go in. As the other Williams is now moving up a positions. I want to see, no, D-Mac is already out on track.
So I think at this point, Evil Master, because the guys will have an advantage on the undercut, needs to extend and turn it into one stop.
Yeah, so Lewis had one lap to close in on the undercut and he's still behind Shaq, so...
Yeah.
Tino and Rick
We're
are
very
in a
close
fight.
behind there. And Rickard will have the gap because he was, I think, 9 seconds ahead of third place before the pit stops.
Yeah, oh, and...
There's another yellow flag.
Oh, it's
That's
the
Tom
Williams.
Check.
Yeah.
And the S is catching a few drivers out so far.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But oh, and Al is now has been overtaken by D-Mac here. But look at the gap Evo has. Oh, he's runs wide to Rickard there. 30 seconds already.
Yeah.
As he continues on. I can't see his tire wear, unfortunately, because he hasn't set test to public. Same for Evo. So I don't know what the tire wear is doing. I need to wait for... Oh, and now
And
Evo's
Evil Master's
coming.
pitting. So Rickard's extending.
D-Mac already passed Evo. And Al is also going in. So Red Bull is leading with a 1-2 currently. Maybe his teammate can hold up D-Mac a bit or maybe lose him time. And Shaq moving up into P6. And Lewis is trying to follow him.
And Evil Master lost out there in the pits.
Yeah. He's dropped behind Lewis as well. Oh, there's some fighting going on. Around the outside from Lewis. Don't want to switch to an onboard because the last time I did it in the S section someone crashed out. He doesn't, so... fighting going on between Al, who's choosing for the hard tires. So he will definitely go to the end.
Yes, we've got a split strategy. Still some people on 2 stops here and some on 1 stops.
Oh, and
Evil
Lewis...
Master and Tom Check battling on here. Is it Lewis? No,
Lewis,
sorry.
yeah. So, small battle going on in the midfield now. And now can... By the teammate BMGO, can he... maybe try to hold up D-Mac? I think D-Mac has a very good straight line speed. Because he was ahead all the time when... even when Rickard was in the DRS, so...
Yeah, and Rick ought to be hoping that IMGO really does slow down D-Mac. As we see, Mikhail has pitted.
Yeah,
Let's try and see where he comes out.
Oh, and as Freddy tries to overtake Shaq, who doesn't have DRS, Lewis now on the outside slash inside. And oh, side by side.
And a good recovery from Always Rick here. Up to 10th, he was down in 16th at one point with the first lap incidents.
And oh, and D-Mac is now gone past.
But he's overshot it. And BMGO would take that straight back.
But nobody has DRS, or... Yeah, they both don't have DRS. Maybe one try to... try to get the DRS and then let D-Mac pass, because this small battle costs D-Mac almost a second, and now Rickard has gone in and he will get much faster tires.
I think D-Mac will come out comfortably ahead of him now from pitting earlier.
Yeah, I think the same. So now Evo's on the outside.
It has been half a second, hasn't it, when he pitted, so let's see how this turns out.
And he is already passed, so he's lost out some big time. But he does have fresher tires.
Yeah, he's lost out by about 4 seconds.
Oh, is Shaq going very wide? A lot of battles going on. As now Evo's gone past Freddy and Lewis is fighting Shaq on the outside.
Yeah, and it has been a bit of a battle between our teams here, McLaren and Ferrari, throughout this race.
The Shaq doesn't have the... No, nobody has the DRS, so...
Lewis got the DRS there.
Yeah.
But he's...
So Ferrari and McLaren both
there.
behind each other in duos. Oh, and some fighting in the midfield, as always. Rick is fighting with... Oh, and as I said that, he runs wide and picks up a penalty. So fighting between Lar and Dino and Al, who all are on new tires, of course.
Yeah, and Ross has checked out from the battle behind him a little bit. But he's 7 seconds down on Ricard here. It's still between Ricard and D-Mac.
Yeah, he's lost 4 seconds, and that's a lot to catch up if you don't have maybe the pace outside of the DRS.
Yeah, and it shows you how well the undercut works here. Because he was about to overtake D-Mac before the pit stops.
Yeah. Maybe we still haven't seen a virtual or a safe or a normal safety car, so need to...
Yeah, Fretwell's pitting, so
yeah, from his mediums.
See what he puts on. So I guess he's going to have to put the hards on if he wants to one-stop it.
Yeah, I assume he go to the hard tires, so... Fighting again as Dino is losing out some places. Now Lars has gone past again into turn 1. Al's already gone past him. Someone who's also has struggled after he lost his wing is Rodo, now in P14. And with no safety car, I think it will be very difficult to catch up to the top again. Interesting though, top 7 are all on medium tires. Almost all on the same strategy. Can they take them to the end? That's the question. I think one of the Red Bull cars can't, but...
Yeah, I think that's what Ricard would be trying.
To be fair, he's almost gone half the race distance on the soft tires, so I think he could definitely try and do it on the mediums as well.
Yeah, and I think by MGO, maybe he will try and take these mediums far and be on the softs on a lower fuel load.
Yeah, fuels also could be a factor here. So everyone is...
And Ricard's going to be let past there.
Yeah, so... But I think, yeah, the gap is now only 2.7 seconds, so 2.5. So he is closing in.
Yeah, a great point from Bakker there. We've got, it's all going 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark at the moment. Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari after the passing first.
Now this can change as Shaq is very close behind Lewis, and Lewis doesn't have any DRS. I think the straight is too short though. Yeah, and and Lewis is Shaq is passed.
And Ricard's pace on this set of medium tyres is unbelievable at the moment. He's took 1.5 seconds out of D-Mac in the last 2 laps.
And Lewis struggling on the new tyres.
And he's got Evil Master right behind him as well, fancying getting involved in this.
We got a Ferrari v McLaren battle tonight. And now Rickard is closing in rapidly to D-Mac, who we can now see. It's 2 seconds, a bit wide there. Now he's lost 3/10 again there in the corner. And still Lewis is fighting with... Oh, and we got a yellow flag. It is always Rick. Oh! That was very close to Rodo. So, not the daily AlphaTauri
it's not gone Rick's way, is it, today?
Yeah. Oh, and now Lewis has gone past Shaq again, and will Shaq let Evil pass because Evil is on fresher tires? But or can he maybe himself try to do another move again? Bit of a battle going on behind between Laura and Al. As Laura's gone on the outside, Switching back to the inside. And it shows tonight that if you pick up any damage or do a spin and there's no safety car, you will, you can't recover basically, which is very annoying. Of course, for if you are that person, I know for myself that I always had the luck. When I had a spin or a crash, I got the safety car.
Yeah. And Ricard's only 1.6 seconds off lead now here. Seems to be potentially having better race pace than D-Mac here.
Yeah.
And Lau and Al are battling in 9th and 10th, and Dino's close behind both of them.
He's still hanging on there on the hard tires, of course. Tonchek, the other Williams, he does need to go in again.
And he's going in now, just as you said that.
Yeah, and he's going to the mediums, I think. And now with DRS.
Yeah, and the McLarens have been blown away a little bit by Ricard and T-Mac out front. That's, well, effectively 12 seconds they are off the lead now.
Yeah, and the other Red Bull's still hanging on there in P3 on these old tyres.
Yeah, very old tyres. I mean, he'll have soft, so he'll have a massive pace advantage at the end, but he'll probably come out in a lot of traffic.
I think he touched out there because I saw them very close on the timing, and then you dropping on the inside of that corner is a bit weird, so maybe a bit of a collision there. So he has lost out some time. Ferraris are still following one of the McLarens, and now Rickard is almost back to where he was at the beginning of the race, and that is in the DRS of D-Mac. And I think if
BMGO is coming into the pits now.
So if he pits, I think the top 5 has remained the same, or top 4, as it was before. Shaq is doing an amazing race, by the way, starting from P12 up into P5.
So where will BMGO come out? He'll come out 10th, will he? 9th or 10th?
No, I think he could be close to Dino and no, I think he's P9, yeah. So and now he's on the soft tires compared to the hards in front of him.
Yeah, he'll have a massive advantage, but it's a lot of cars to overtake towards the end of the race.
But one point is that he started on, I think, in P15 or something. So if he can finish P7, which are the hard tires he needs to overtake, that is very well done from him as well. Now Rickard is very close to the DRS. He's almost within a second, so we got a small battle for the win. Maybe.
Yeah, and unfortunately a lot of the rest of the field is quite spaced out. Apart from Shaq and Lewis still very close together as well.
Yeah, and Dino and Al are following each other as well. And same for Freddy and Stonchek, who is now trying to overtake on his new tires. Both have fairly new tires. So. Now it's only 4/10 between the leaders. As Rickard is now very close in the DRS. He has a lot more pace on these medium tires than he had on the soft tires.
Yeah, and he's just gonna have to be patient through here. It's not a real place to overtake. There's 2 DRS zones coming up, one at the start-finish straight and one on the next straight.
He has a lot more pace though, so he knows that he can now finally close in. And if he can get out of the DRS, you could see him.
But could he be stuck in the same problem he was on the soft tyres? He was finding it difficult to get past.
Yeah, it's a bit with the DRS as in real life. Once you get close, you maybe lose some time in the corners again. So he will be hoping to get past him, but he's very close now. I think he's never been that close up until now in the race.
Yeah, and he's obviously got three lap younger tyres to play with. But D-Max seems to have incredible pace down the straights here.
Yeah, he's maybe choosing less wings, just more straight line speed. Oh, and Gio goes for a 3-second penalty, so that's not helping him, as he's already
No,
passed
but
Dino, so...
yeah, and he's on the back of Al as well there.
I was just looking at the test system then. D-Mac's tires already at 30, between 30 and 35%, so he still needs to do another 10 laps on these tires, and he's already done 10 laps on his tires. And I think he does have the gap maybe behind to at least pit to the soft tires, but is that a decision you want to make? I don't know. As Gio has now gone back past again.
Well, at the moment, Ricard's still struggling to get past, so whether D-Mac just fancies track position, knowing he's got the pace on the straights, and just frustrate Ricard, really.
Yeah, because you have DRS, you have ERS, but still the car in front is quicker, so you really need the slipstream, the DRS, a good exit to at least close in on D-Mac tonight.
And obviously being stuck so close behind in the dirty air and sliding around and stuff is going to put wear through your tyres as well, so
yeah,
it's not easy.
And I can't see the tyre wear of Rickard because he hasn't set his test system public, so we don't know how hard he has been pushing on these tyres. Now he does seem to close in into the braking zone. He's still not close enough. Maybe, just maybe, he wants to just sit this one behind, save a bit of ERS, more than he has now, as D-Mac doesn't have any ERS anymore. And just stay behind, and then once he saves up everything, just use it all on the straight. Oh, Lewis has spun, and
yeah,
I don't know who hit him.
Corner, was that?
Yeah, he ghosted, I think. He doesn't have any damage. The Ferrari cars don't have any damage.
And that's allowed the Ferraris to split the McLarens.
Yeah, and they are now up in P4 and 5. So a very good result from him.
And BMGO is only 6 seconds behind Lewis here on fresh soft tyres.
Yeah,
so
Lewis has 11 lap old mediums. And I'm looking at his tire wear, and his tire wear is at I need to see, the rear left is currently at 40% already. So, but although Gio's tires are still at 15%, so he can. Oh yeah, he reset to track. Yeah, that's why he ghosted. You can't do that, Lewis. That is not.
Ricard's having a really good look at T-Mac here.
Yeah, as I said, he's
saving
go
up all his
ERS and around the outside.
And he's got it done before the corner.
Yeah, but now D-Mac doesn't.
D-Mac will have DRS.
Yeah, he already has a half second gone. So I think it's far enough. Very well done by Rickard.
So, for anyone asking, D-Mac has 13% ERS and Ricard has 40%.
So Lewis now already at the back of Shaq again as Evo's gone past him. Just back for your information. Oh, as he's almost spun again. A guy in the McLaren has done something you can't do, I think. As resetting the track, so as I would say, Ferrari guys don't do that, so that's a McLaren problem. You should speak to them in the chat.
I couldn't possibly comment. Yeah, and BMGO is now just 5 seconds behind this battle in front, so he'll be desperately trying to get in on this.
Oh, and yellow flag from someone. It's Dino, I think it is. Or
I can't see where that is.
Yeah, he's spun, I think, because he's now 7 seconds behind Al. It was closer. But D-Mac is... yeah, he doesn't have the straight line speed. He is closing in. But not close enough. Now he has 13 seconds behind. If he's gonna lose on medium anyway, maybe he could try to go to for the soft tires, or maybe it's too late. But
Yeah, I think the issue is he'll end up coming out potentially in between Lewis and by MGO.
could be, yeah. So that's annoying for him as well. But his tire wear currently is almost at 50. It's 45%.
He's still in the DRS though here. He just needs to keep pressure on Ricard and hope for a mistake. But he has, I've noticed, been saving up his ERS a little bit. He's regained a bit. So maybe he's just biding his time, saving that ERS for one push on the later laps.
Yeah, and Rickard is using maybe a lot of his ERS to get away from the DRS zone. Yeah, again 3 DRS zones, so if you stick with him if you get DRS on the main straight, then again behind that, following through the middle sector, you get another DRS. I think with the DRS it's easier to follow the car, so...
Yeah,
no
we got
problem,
Lau is right on the back of Dino now, in the lower down. I know we've not shown on a whole lot of these guys, but it's been a fascinating battle up the front between D-Mac and Ricard.
Oh, and Laura's gone wide. And Rono's having a good recovery as well, as in P11.
Oh, and Lewis is overtaking Evil Master just nearly... Shack Attack and nearly hit Evil Master.
Yo, he's a 3-second penalty he got. And that means that now Bayern Gio is on also has 3-second penalties, and he's closing in as well on the soft tires. And this will help the Ferrari cars, because if they just stay within 3 seconds of Lewis, they will get the position again. I saw him lose traction, and then he meant that he could only do he's struggling with the traction a lot as I watch him from on board. And to be fair, he has 50 at the rear left, so he's struggling with the rear tires here. And that's giving him problems with the traction, of course.
Yeah, and D-Mac's getting extremely close to Ricard now. Going through the final corner. If he gets a good exit, this could be the moment.
Using the DRS, Ricard is not using any ERS. And he's gone past again.
He's going to have it done. So that battle still rages on.
Yeah, still not done. We will probably see it to the end of the race, I think.
Yeah, and I think Lewis is right on the back of Shack Attack again now, but he just got a poor exit.
The record is very close. Once again. Need to see Lewis is closing in as well. Oh, Shack is... Oh, centimeter. Oh, and again another contact.
Yeah, it's getting a bit feisty up here for the top 5 positions. But by MGO will be loving seeing this, because he's just gaining and gaining on them.
Yeah. And just giving for back in the chat, giving Rick some screen time as well. The only screen time he got was when he got some spins, but...
And yeah, for the... just looking at the positions gained, Shack Attack and by MGO have had great races. Shack up 7 places and by MGO up 8 places.
So they've done maybe a different strategy, and it's worked out pretty good for them. Although Shack has done the same strategy as the cars ahead, and he's just gained a lot. He's a good race pacer. As Rickard is now very close behind D-Mac again, and now he has a lot of more ERS, but he isn't using it on the straight, so it's just purely on ERS now.
I think will they be saving it, thinking it could come down to the last lap here?
Yeah, they're probably calculating, if I overtake him this lap and then he does it on the next lap again, when do I get the last lap?
And I think they're playing a bit of a DRS game here as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah, maybe
or it looked like that on the straight.
Yeah. Because if Rickard really wants to overtake him, he could have used his ERS and he could have gone past. I don't know how happy Lewis will be with the defending of Shack tonight, but we will have to see.
Yeah, and I was wondering, because Shaq seems to catch up to Evil Master and then almost be slowed down. Whether it would be a better idea to let Shaq go, because they did that earlier in the race and he pulled away a bit. Because it seems to just leave Shaq a little bit exposed to Lewis behind.
And Morodo, after his spin and front wing loss, he's now back into the top 10 after overtaking Lar. Oh, and Rickard is... Oh, D-Mac is, I think, spun it. Or what?
No, just lost position.
Oh, it looks like he was off the track and then...
Yeah, I think he lost a bit of traction.
Oh, now he's losing again.
Wide again.
Does he have wing damage, maybe?
I'm trying to see that now.
Player 11, yeah, he does have wing damage, 40%. Ooh, so maybe he did
made a
drop
bit of contact.
Yeah, or he did make contact, yeah. But now 40% is a lot, as you see, he's struggling, only 3 laps left. Maybe he's trying, I will try to take it to the end, but that means that Rickard is probably gone. Shame, because we could have seen a very good battle. But the question is, can these guys behind now try to close in? They have much more pace. And
yeah,
D-Mac's tires are also over.
It'll be tight, but I think he'll just have enough of a gap in hand. But it might make him potentially get penalties for track limits, which could be the deciding factor.
Yeah, and he does have 60% tire wear as well. He needs to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And Ross is only 11 seconds behind him now. He had previously been 16 seconds. That's 5 seconds in half a lap.
Yeah, as Rodo and Lara giving a bit of a fight behind. Giving them some screen time as well. Same for Mikkel and Tonchak. Now, oh, I see some sparks from Lewis. Beautiful. Now, Ross is already within 10 seconds and it's still lap 27. And he's lost 8 seconds D-Mac to Rickard in 1 lap.
Yeah, it's really hurt him.
If he's hurting a lot, yeah, go on.
Yeah, but whether he pits, I think he's just going to try and stick it out. And I'm just looking at Lewis, he's going to be very close on Shaq again here.
And if D-Mac is losing a lot of time, and Evil's run wide.
Big moment.
This battle between Evil, Shaq, Lewis and Bahrain and Gio, this could be for a podium position, although it's still 2 laps only. But yeah, Ross is already within 6 seconds of him. And it's still 2 laps.
And this battling in front, MGO's right on them now. And will they all fall over each other a little bit here?
So watching the Rodo quickly. And right now, Ross and Evil, they must know that D-Mac is losing a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, he's just 4 seconds behind Ross. He can actually see the Haas going through the corners ahead of him now.
Shame how he lost 12 seconds in less than 2 laps. He was looking so good, but Evil is probably loving seeing closing in, but he still has 10 seconds and it's only 1 lap to go, so maybe D-Mac can hold on to the podium.
Yeah, but he's got to take it easy through so many high-speed corners with that wing. To think, I mean, he's lost 14 seconds to Rickard in 2 laps, so it's 7 seconds a lap. If Evil Master can get his pace together, he could steal this podium off him. And
now Ross is with the DRS, is already behind him and he's passed, so Ross is into P2, or P1 and P2 in the championship. So Ross finished P1 and Rickard at P2 in Canada. Now they're switched around, meaning they could be equal on points here in the championship.
And it's all down to the final lap for D-Mac and his podium.
And we see a lot of fighting going on. Now Bahrain Gio is also caught up to this group.
So we've got
it's only 6 seconds.
Separated by a second there.
Only 6 seconds.
4th to 7th. Yeah.
Is it enough though?
Not quite enough so far.
Oh, and Bahrain Gio is now in the battle with Lewis. They both have 3 seconds penalty, so this is for position. And he's going on the inside. And this is all helping out Ferrari here.
It is. But Lewis has kept his foot in there and got good traction out the corner.
It's 3.5 seconds to podium. Evil's running wide. Is it enough?
I think he's going to fall short, but this right hand is going to be a problem for D-Mac without that wing.
And his tires are also not the best right now. Almost at 70%, so he's
yeah, and he's having
it's
to half throttle it through there. And we can see him close. In 1.6 seconds. It's going to come down to... It's going to be so close.
As Rickard has, by the way, won the race tonight, as Ross is in P2. But where it's 1 second, is it enough? It's enough, it's not enough. As D-Mac is just about holding on. It's 7/10, but it's not enough. He's holding on to the podium, and now Evo on P4, second P5. Great race from the Ferrari drivers, as Lewis finished P6, BMG on P7, Alice finished in P8, and we're just waiting for the cars behind who are also having a big battle.
Yeah, and unfortunate for D-Mac there, him and Rickard had a brilliant race.
Tonchek just missed out on the top 10 there. As Rodo's going into P12.
Fretwell, Zabiaka and Rick, they all had incidents which was unfortunate for them. Zabiaka did 26 laps on those hard tyres though.
Yeah.
He just went Sunday driving by the looks of it.
He's just gone pit in the first lap and then just take it to the end.
Exactly. Yeah, shame for D-Mac.
He could get the
him and Rickard had such an epic battle for 25 of the 29 laps.
And I see some people saying that Evil's going off the track all the time, but still not getting track limit penalties. Now, I know sometimes if the game thinks you made a mistake, you run wide and then not enter the track again, small tip, you don't get a penalty, I think, because you technically lose time while you go off track and not gain any time. So, but very well done to the podium, guys. I think shame from D-Mac that he couldn't set his pole position or charge for maybe the win but he is still on the podium. I think these guys have been in the top 3 all race long, so very deserved. So just another final look at the standings as by Gio picks up the fastest lap, so Red Bull scoring a lot of points. Rick at P1, Ross in P2, then we got D-Mac, Evil and Shaq from P12 to P5, very well done, and BMGO from P15 to P7, Al in P8, Dino P9, Laura P11, Tonchek in P11, P11, Rodo is P12, shame because he started in the top 5, Mikael P13, Freddy in P14, Zabiaka in P15, and poor Rick with his COVID didn't get any points in P16. So, not the race he would have seen.
Yeah, and a really exciting race there. Some good battling throughout, but Rickard and D-Mac really had some amazing pace just to take them away from the field there today.
Yeah, so maybe if you could, if they want to join the comps, if they would like to, of course.
Yeah, I think some settings issues for some of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and we got, I think, someone in the chat, so if we could start there. Need to see if yeah,
we got D-Mac, and he's Adam Ross G, just one set to see. I think it's just an issue with Rickard's settings. But yeah, D-Mac, great race there. What happened? Was it a bit of front wing damage? We saw that you were battling with Rickard at the front. What happened?
Honestly, I've full respect. What was his name? Rickard? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I've never had a better battle with somebody for 27 laps and then absolutely bottle it. To be honest, I think he probably had the pace over me. He had slightly fresher tyres. I just made a bit of a mistake. It was only light green wing damage, but on this game it just completely slows you down. I'll take a podium though, all day long. But a little bit frustrating not get P2.
Great pizza.
Yeah, it was a real amazing battle. We couldn't take our eyes off it watching, and
Yeah,
I
it was
think
awesome.
he just seemed to have a bit of race pace, especially on those mediums, but it was so tight throughout.
Yeah, he done me with the strategy. To be honest with you, I called his bluff too early because he was about maybe 5, 6 tenths behind me. So I'll jump into the pits here, and then so he can't undercut me because I thought he was going to go for the undercut, but no, he stayed true to his strategy, and he made it work. Especially in the first few laps when he was on the mediums, I was like, I'm going to get absolutely chewed up here. But he seemed to just kind of get stuck behind me for a little bit. As soon as he overtook me, I thought he was just going to blast off into the distance, but I don't know, the DRS is really powerful around Bahrain.
Yeah, we saw that throughout the field as well. The DRS seemed to, even when someone got past and seemed to be much quicker, they just couldn't get away.
Yeah, that was my struggle with the first stint. Was after the third lap, he was 9 tenths behind me, so I was putting maybe 2, 3 tenths a lap on him, and then the DRS came in, and I just couldn't. Yeah, it was just all over me. I couldn't get rid of him. Yeah.
Well, great race though, and congratulations on your podium.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
So we move on to our P2. I think our P2 drivers is here as well. Ross is here.
Yeah.
Hello. So you tell us about your race. You were I think P3 all race, and then suddenly at the end you got P2.
I had an easy job all race, just no penalties, and I got lucky at the end. That's all about keeping the car on the track, no mistakes, no penalties, and sometimes you do get luck like that, other times you don't, so I'll take that. I don't deserve P2, should be P3, but I'll take it.
And I think you saw in the beginning, I don't know if you were involved much with the battle with Ferrari in the middle of the race.
No, that was my brother Lewis. I heard about that, it seemed some battle. I was trying to pull Lewis away at the start of the race, but we just couldn't do it. That's why we kept saying us overtaken. We tried to take each other on the straight, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, I think we noticed as well. Was it just trying with the DRS to create a gap?
Just trying to take each other away. I was trying to take Lewis, but I just couldn't get a gap because when I overtook him, he was still following me. So we just had to play it, and Lewis got unlucky, but that's what it is.
Yeah, and then after that, just created the gap, and I think it was quite a lonely race in P3.
Yep, definitely. There's some pace from the front, I'll tell you that.
And in the championship as well, you won the last race, of course. And now P2, so still looking very good. Do you feel confident for next rounds?
Yeah, next track's one of my better tracks. I'm feeling confident, but never say never. Don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's Saudi Arabia, so the world's very close, you don't know.
I know, that's it. One wrong turn and that's it. Race over.
Yep. And I think I want to say congratulations again on your podium. And I don't know if Jones has anything to add or another question.
No, just well done. I'm obviously happy driving with McLaren that you got the podium, so good stuff.
I think a lot of guys are happy in the chat. Ferrari, with McLaren podium, I should say. So doing the McLaren team proud.
Ferrari McLaren battle throughout, and it's going to go on off the track as well.
Oh man, well, we're good race anyway. I'll take it. So
yeah, absolutely, it was good to watch as well.
I had a blonde race.
So
well, the battle in front was absolutely great.
And then you saw one of the cars losing a lot of time. You thought maybe, something must have happened. And then
I just seen Mackenzie's time drop, and I was like, must be wing damage. I just drove by him.
Yeah, very well done. Congratulations to the top 3 again, and also to Rickard. He isn't joining us in the comps, but no problem to that on the race win. I want to thank all of you who are still watching right now and who have watched tonight, and you guys driving for the race. And we will be back tomorrow for high gear. I will not be driving, although I can't drive, so a bit unfortunate there. But I will be back next week, so same for mid gear and for low gear with Jones as well. We will be back at mid gear and low gear and at a new track as well. So first check tomorrow and then come back next week again for mid gear, and see you all next time out. Good night.